Good morning all. We finally made it up into the hills and we're back in the hydraulic pit. And guess who I got with me today? You'll never guess. We're back in the spot where Jeff and I were here a month ago.
I just paid him back for when he did that to me in my video, which you can see on my channel.
You have a channel?
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. All right. I've already got a square nail. I got to go over here. I got another target.
Yeah, we're back in the spot where Jeff found that copper. And he's going to be concentrating on that area. Okay, well, I'm going to get it set up before he gets ahead of me. Let's see if we can find some gold. Okay, this is going to be the first spot I want to take a look at. And the reason why I want to look at this spot, we have real dark gravel here. The boulders are busted or busted bedrock. Either way, these are broke because they got good sharp edges, which tells me one of two things. It was a big boulder that they wanted to move, but they had to blow it up, bust it up to move it, or they broke bedrock. Either thing tells me that there was gold here for them to do that. So we'll check this spot earlier, and plus all the rocks that are in here are all good size. Everything here says it'll carry gold large enough for the detector to find. So, but we got a target right here. Awfully loud, but sounds good. But then up here, I got all kinds of stuff. So it sounds like we got a lot of iron in this pile, so let's do a little digging. Today my detector is not liking my sound system. So I'm gonna have to shut the sound system off while I'm detecting. So I'm gonna detect over here, pick out some targets I think stand a chance to be good targets, then we'll come back and take a look at them. I've dug up 3 square nails so far, but I'm on the board with copper. I found a piece of melted copper. Let me show you. Kind of a cool looking piece of copper. Well, all I've done so far is this one spot right here, and I've pulled out 8 nails, that piece of copper, and I just dug up a small piece of glass. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to move around this, see if this whole pile has this much junk in it, because we're not covering much ground at this rate. A lot of iron. Okay. Well, as you can hear, this whole mound is completely full of trash. So I'm thinking we need to find a spot that's got a little less iron in it, because most of these targets are iron. I think I am going to try over here. I'll just do a little bit of digging, checking, and if all I'm finding iron, if there's another pile over here, I want to go over and take a look at. Well, I've been detecting around for probably an hour now, and I'm going from one extreme to the other. I'm either finding nothing or just solid iron targets. But I just found a really interesting target. Let me show you. Well, you can see here, this is the handle of an old shovel stuck in the ground. So what do you say we dig it up and see if the shovel's down there? No, not moving yet. Well, there's the side of it. There we go. Well, a little rough, but it's an old shovel. It's riveted on. You can tell it's been here a while. But it's not gold, so let's keep moving. I'm going to detect this area to make sure he didn't use a shovel to mark the spot where he left all his gold nuggets. Well, no bag of gold coins or nuggets, so I guess we're going to be moving on. Well, I just found an interesting target. It's not iron, and I'm pretty sure it's not gold. It's hard. I can't scratch it. When I put it in my mouth, it has a metallic taste. So I'm not sure what this is. Let me show you. I'm going to take it down and smack it with a rock and see what happens. Well, after hitting it with a rock and scraping it on the rock, my guess is melted copper. Until we get home, put some acid on it. That's what I'm going with, a piece of melted copper. I haven't exactly been staying on plan. There was a hillside over here where they quit working, and I've been wanting to look at that, so I've been over there detecting on it. I kind of got off topic here. Still no gold. Jeff's ahead of me. He's got copper and lead, and I only got copper. So right now, I'm going to break for lunch, and then we'll get back on to what we're supposed to be doing here, looking at piles. Jeff was digging right there where I was eating lunch, and he was finding a few targets, so I went over and helped him pinpoint targets. And then while he was working one target, I stole his detector, looked around a little bit, and I got a good target and dug up another chunk of copper. Well, I've moved over to a different area, and I got two spots here. One, I'm kind of curious about, and then there's another spot over here that looks good to me. But I wanted to show you this one here. I stopped here, did a little bit of detecting. I found so far I found a piece of lead and a small piece of iron, but let me show you what I'm talking about here. Now what I like about this area is right here you can see we have a lot of pretty good sized rocks. Then there's a area here that's clear. They obviously worked through here or had a box here or something. Or hopefully you can see over here where the detector's sitting, we have a mixture of large quartz rocks, broken either boulders or bedrock, and smaller gravel all mixed in. And that's kind of what I wanted to take a look at. And I know it's I'm not getting a real good shot of the rocks because some of them are in the shade, some of them are in the sun, so it's hard to see. But I'm going to do a little detecting in this area, see what we come up with, and then if I don't find anything, then we're going to head over to this pile that looks really good to me. Well, I've been looking around this spot, I don't know, 20 minutes, and it's actually been kind of refreshing because I haven't found any targets other than 3 bullets, and then I just found this. And an old axe blade that they were using as a wedge. You can see they beat her up pretty good. But I'm thinking they were probably splitting rocks or, you know, busting bedrock with this. Okay, well, I pretty much got this. I got a little bit more to do, but I'm kind of like the fact that I'm not finding all kinds of nails and all that stuff. Everything I find has been bullets. So we're going to work on over, and let's head over to that spot that I really like. What I thought I would do is show you the route that I took to get over to this spot that I really like the looks of. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit and show you what I use as indicators to get to areas I think look good. Now, we don't know if there's any gold here, but to me, the area looks really good. Okay, let's do a little backtracking. The first thing I noticed was I seen this pile, and you can look at the pile and you'll notice that there's dark rocks in the pile here and there. See, what I'm looking at is like this rock right here. This thing is heavy and it has definitely been broke. This rock has been broke. There's a lot of heavier rocks in here. There's a lot of broken rocks in here, which means to me that they were finding gold because they were breaking this stuff up so they can get it out of there. Go a little further, it looks better. Let me show you. Now we've moved like 20 feet in this direction, and you'll notice the rocks are getting bigger. We still have broken rocks here and there, but what I'm noticing now is we're starting to get staining on the rocks. Let me show you a little better. Now you get this staining on the rocks, and you can see right here, there's some still caught there. This is mineralization, and this is basically what will form the conglomerate. There's a little broken piece of conglomerate still stuck on this one. And there is conglomerate here and there. Okay, here we have another rock, and you can see the conglomerate stuck to the rock. Now they've gone through here. There's a lot of large rocks in this pile. There's a lot of this staining going on, and there's a lot of broken rocks, but there's no chunks of conglomerate, which tells me they pretty much broke it up, so they must have been finding gold in it. Okay, we're going to continue going this way because that's the way the rocks are leading us. Now we're starting to get some serious rocks showing up, and you can tell, especially by the feel, but this rock is extremely heavy. It's dense because it's got a shine to it, and it's smooth. And you can tell just by looking at it, it just has that look of a really heavy rock. So now we know we're getting into the main flow of the river, and that's where these are dropping out. And this is where you want to be to find the nuggets, because I'm sure there was gold all through this, but the gold's got to get to a certain size before a detector will pick it up. So we got to get into the part of the channel that carried those pieces of gold. Okay, let's keep moving this direction. Now we're getting into the area we want to be. All the gravel is of decent size. The problem is all we have here is boulders. This is where they just stack the boulders. So what we need to do now is in this area, in the same line we've been going, we need to find some gravel, some dirt that either they didn't move or they shoveled it out of their way to get to the better stuff, and hopefully when they were doing that, they threw some pieces up with it, what we call throw-up piles. And we got one of those spots right behind me. Okay, now this area in here, we still got our large rocks. We got a good dark one here, it's been broke. We got a lot of just broken pieces of rock in here, but we also have smaller gravel and sands and stuff mixed in with it. So hopefully this is stuff they shoveled out of the way to put a box in, or who knows why. But at least when we're down into this smaller stuff, we stand a chance to find a piece of gold that they threw up here, because we know we're in a good spot. As far as the river goes, we know we're in the area of the old ancient channel that the gold was traveling, because we have the big boulders, we have the dark, heavy rock. So we're in the right area. We just got to find some sand and gravel that the gold would be in. So I'm going to start detecting here, see what we come up with. And hopefully it's not full of nails. I got a couple targets here that I wanted you to listen to, but there was one in here. Right there. Kind of a warbly one. So we'll go ahead and scrape that so we know where it is. I had another one here somewhere. There it is. Real loud one right there. So I'm going to put the shovel there. Let's see if we can figure out what the first one is. Well, it sounds like iron to me. And I think I see it. Old square nail. Okay, let's check the area. Yep, that was it. Okay, let's go over to the real loud one and see if we can find that one. I'm thinking this one's iron too. But you gotta get the iron targets out. Yep, there it is right there. Square nail. But you gotta get the iron targets out so you can find the lighter target. So far, I picked out several pieces of iron, 2 pieces of lead, but we still got quite a bit of area to detect. So let's keep going. I'm gonna have to shut the sound off so I can listen to the metal detector. Well, I was detecting a minute ago and I heard something in the brush and I knew Bigfoot or a bear had me. And guess who shows up? Scared me half to death.
It's all the copper I've been finding.
Yeah. Well, I still got 2 good targets here. And I think I'm going to have Jeff help me look at this spot because it is getting later. See if we can turn up something other than lead and copper and iron. Well, I was going to film Jeff and I digging these 2 targets side by side. And turned the camera on and it instantly went dead. My battery was dead. So I said, to heck with it. I went ahead and dug up my target, and wouldn't you know it, it was a piece of gold and I didn't get it on film. And Jeff's nailing his down. What is it?
A nail.
A nail. Well, let me show you what gold looks like. It's been a while since we've seen it. Well, here's that piece of gold I found. Nice chunky little piece. It was really loud. Been doing this been metal detecting for 50 plus years, and this is the first one of these I've ever found. I'm not sure if it's old or not, but let me show you this. It's definitely a digging tool, riveted together, and it's been in the ground quite a while. So my guess is it's at least from the 30s or older. But like I say, first one of those I've ever found. We pretty much detected this place to death right here. Nothing. Jeff's moved over this next pile over there and hasn't been doing too good. And then I made kind of a big circle around, and I tried both spots that looked good to me and spots that didn't look good to me. Nothing. Only thing I managed to find was lead from bullets. I found, I think, 4 or 5 bullets. And that's pretty much been it. And it's getting late. Gonna have to put the sweatshirt back on, starting to cool off quick. So plan now is I think I'm gonna pack the camera and everything up and slowly start detecting back towards the Jeep. If we find anything, we'll turn the camera back on. If not, I'll either see you back at the Jeep or back at the house. Made it back to the house, and you guessed it, it's not really the next day, it's 2 days later. Okay, well, I got my one piece of gold cleaned up. And that, before I forget, that little target that I found that I couldn't figure it out, well, put a little bit of nitric acid on it, and it started bubbling green, so it's definitely copper. Okay, let's jump over, see what our piece weighed. Okay, well, we got a lot of stuff here. We have, this is a couple of steel bullets and a boot tack. This is the lead we found. This is the copper jacket off of bullets I found, and this is the pieces of melted copper that I found, and here's our nugget. Okay, let's see how we did with the nugget. 0.68 grams. And let's see how we did lead-wise. 28.5 grams. Pretty darn close to an ounce. Not too shabby. Well, I was surprised. It must be a solid piece because it's pretty small and to weigh, almost 0.7. That's not bad. Now, first thing I want to talk about is the copper. I don't know about the copper. We found the copper over, I'm guessing, 100-foot square area. And if it was out of an old sluice box, it would all pretty much be in the same area. So that one, still a mystery to me. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about was failing. We're all afraid to fail. But every time we go up, it's human nature to want to go back to where you found gold to look for gold. I mean, you don't leave gold to look for gold. The problem is every time we go up there, we're finding smaller gold and less of it. At some point, you have to be willing to fail if you want to find new areas that got gold in them. Now that particular hydraulic pit, there's got to be 50 acres of it. We've covered maybe 2. So I'm thinking next time up, we may not come home with anything because we've got to be willing to fail, to go out and explore areas of that pit we haven't looked at before. So that's on the schedule. Problem is, it's raining outside, and that pit is way up there. We're up 4,000 or 5,000 feet. So we may not get back there this year. That thing may be under snow. Who knows? We'll find out. All I know is it's time for me to say, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.